Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is for the week of Wednesday, December 20th, 2017. The last episode was kind of a mess because I hit the turn off thing and it ran for like 30 seconds without actually shutting off, and I had to go in and edit it, and I hope I did it properly, but it was bit of a thing. So, not a lot happened. Went to Pokemon. Actually, won all my matches. What made it interesting, though, was that most of those matches were really close, or at least really interesting. One of the players, who's now in the League Discord, is a guy who has at least 18 teams. He's got, like, full monotype teams of everything, you know? And when you battle someone, he tends to ask, what do you want to battle? And for the past, month since he's shown up, I basically would joke, oh, let me break out Primal Groudon and you can fight with your water team, And he's like, I'll do that. And I'm like, no, that's just mean. For those who don't know, Primal Groudon, when Groudon grows Primal mode, has a super weather effect that stops water attacks from happening. Doesn't weaken them, it prevents them. And this team is actually also very grass heavy. Basically, there's only two Pokemon in the whole team that are even vulnerable to water. One is Primal Groudon, if you can get around his thing, and there's only two ways to do it. One is to send out Primal Kyogre after he hits the field, and the other is to do the same with Mega Rayquaza, which is much easier because the Primals happen as soon as they hit the field, whereas the Mega happens whenever you initiate it. But he'd been saying, okay, I'm game, and last week he mentioned it. He brought it up like I could always fight your Groudon with the water team, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do this, because I want to know, I've been wondering for weeks, do you have some kind of strategy to beat me? Or do you just not care if you lose a match? Turned out it was the second one. Though, as I pointed out, it didn't have a huge amount of effect on our battle, because his first two Pokemon were dead before he could do anything, really, And, one of the girls' little brother was there, and he doesn't have bad teams. The problem is, he needs to have a little bit more strategy sometimes. He tends to walk into some very easy traps. But I had a lot of fun because I have this Pokemon called a Pyukumuku that I named Gooey. And Pyukumuku does not have attacks. It's not that I didn't teach him any. He doesn't have any attacks. It is impossible to learn any kind of direct damaging move. And Gooey, after being killed, took out 3 of his Pokemon because at the start of the battle, I used Toxic, which increases its damage every turn. And he'd have a Pokemon almost dead and swap out, and I'd Toxic that, and he'd swap that out, and yeah. And as we were sitting there with his sister and that other guy laughing their butts off watching this little fucking sea turd, as I call him, sweep his whole team, I looked at him and I said, if you get swept by Gooey, you don't get to come back. And everyone laughed, including the guy who was hosting the thing, because you gotta admit, if you get beaten by a thing that cannot make attacks, you did something horribly wrong. Another interesting battle that happened with his older sister was, I have a Pokemon I use called Crustle. This one was named Marble, but I have several. And I sent Marble out, and her job is to lay traps and then die. She has one attack that I probably have used less than 5 to 10 times ever. So I send Marble out, and she sends out an Alakazam, knowing that Marble was going to hit the field. Her plan was to use a move called Taunt, which prevents me from doing my setup. Marble has an item called Quick Claw, and so did her Alakazam, but it didn't trip. Quick Claw will randomly trigger and make you go first, and that's what happened. So Maud hit with Stealth Rock, which traps the field and does a set amount of damage based on how vulnerable you are to rock. For example, a Steel type won't take much damage at all, whereas a Charizard will literally lose half its health. And then the taunt hit, and she's like, well, that sucks. So, since Maud could only do her one attack, I used it. Turns out her one attack is unfathomably powerful, and it one-shotted her Pokemon. Her Pokemon, before, because it went first this time, used a move called Torment, so that I couldn't use the same move twice in a row. So, she sent out a Pokemon, tried to attack while Marble was recharging. She missed, and I couldn't do anything. She's like, well, that was eventful, so I swapped her out. The gist of this is, Marble finished the whole match, which I won, laying all 4 of her traps, which means she lived for at least 4 turns. Lived, which almost never happens, because, like I said, her point is to do as much damage as she can and then die, right? But not only did she live with full health, because I kept having to swap her out because of one stupid thing or another, you know? But it was a really fun event, all things considered. Nothing really happened Monday, except for me doing more of my stuff on 7 Days to Die. More of my winter event on Star Trek Online, and getting a little bit better at Battlefront 2 as time goes on. Yesterday would normally be HeroClix, and I even had the roommate's credit card to borrow money for the event. But he had told me the night before that he might have to do overtime, and we won't have an event, which was really good news for me, because that night, I stayed up till 1 p.m. yesterday, and then tried to basically sleep until about 3, you know? I'm like, okay, I'll give it till 3:30, or 3 o'clock. Yeah, I think I did say 3:30. The phone will wake me up, I'll look, if there's no kind of text message or anything saying that the event's canceled, then I'll wake up, and if there's something that says, oh, we canceled it because reasons, I'll go back to sleep. Lo and behold, either he woke me up, I think actually the text woke me up, and it basically said, hey, no event, I've got reasons. It was either that or the alarm woke me up and I saw the text, and I'm like, okay, turn off alarm, bed, and I slept until 9. I woke up in time to feed the pets. But the next couple days are going to be eventful for me. The 23rd, Saturday, this coming Saturday, is my birthday, and that'll be fun. So that's a thing. The plan is 2 of my friends, at least 2 of my friends, could be more, we'll see, will be coming over here, and we're going to go to Cece's Pizza, because I've got a Cece's app, and because it's my birthday, I get a freebie. I get a freebie that's good for any time in the month. I'm just going to use it on my birthday this time, because I think I explained last week. My friend and I have a barbecue normally each month, and this time I asked, hey, can we do Cece's instead? He's like, well, shit, we'll do it on your birthday. And so the plan is, both of them are going to come over here, we're going to hang out for a bit. When we get hungry, we'll leave together for Cece's. And it'll be fun. There was a thing I forgot to mention last week. And by last week, I mean like 3 days ago. Recently, it has come to my attention, and by come to my attention, I hopped on eBay and looked, that I may, for as low as $20 or a little less, be able to get an HD capture card that'll work on my computer. I'm going to have to crunch some numbers next month, because there's a lot of factors going on. My rent may be going up, my stamps are going down, but not by an alarming amount. I'm losing money, but it's not a lot. It's an annoying amount, but not a crippling one, you know what I mean? And I really need to replace my phone. It's kind of a requirement at this point, because I'm not even getting calls anymore. You know, I used to be able to get them, but not answer them. I'm not even getting them now. This phone is deteriorating pretty goddamn hard. And it needs fixed. And by fixed, I mean replaced, because, quite frankly, I've run out of hard drive space on it, and I need more space. So, with luck, maybe I'll get some money on my birthday, and I will pick up this capture card. But the gist of this is that this week in Kyrix, rather than being Death Road to Canada, might very well be me playing 7 Days to Die in the vein of old school Kyrix playing Minecraft. And given how long I have spent on one fucking project right now, I must have dumped something in the neighborhood of 40 fucking hours into this thing. And I'm not even close to done. I actually, what I'm doing is I'm hollowing out basically a 10 square deep pit around my house and then filling it up with rebar frames and pouring concrete on them so I have a big concrete pit that traps zombies in. Which is funny because I've turned zombies off because I got tired of getting chomped while I'm trying to work. But I will turn them back on, of course, once this is done. I basically got excited. I'm like, oh, I'm almost done. And I'm like, no, I'm not even halfway done. Shit, I'm not even done with one side. You know, like I finally laid all the rebar, but I'm not even close to the amount of concrete I need, you know? So what we're looking at, if I do 7 Days to Die, and it depends, it really does, I'll be looking at the old school Minecraft format, where I basically play this for an hour every week. Zombies will be off. This will just be me meandering around and building shit, and finding shit, and farming shit, you know? Kind of the shit I used to do in Minecraft, but without zombies running around. Or creepers. You know? Because, again, this week in Kyrix is supposed to be me showing a game as background stuff. And it'll be, I'll create a character just for that I'll play for an hour. And like I said, given the amount of time I've dumped into one project, I can keep this thing going for the year. I could potentially keep this going for 3 years, you know? And that'll be this week in Kyrix. It'll also open the door for things like a blind run Let's Play of Resident Evil 7, because I'm renting that from Gamefly. And part of me wants to play it as soon as it gets here. But right now, and really that was the plan. I actually, like, the day, like 2 days before I discovered that the capture card was affordable, that they had an affordable version, because I'd only ever seen them for like $150. But like 2 days before that, I watched Resident Evil Vendetta, and I'm like, oh, I want to play 7, so let me rent 7. And, you know, lo and behold, 7's on its way, and I'm thinking, wait a second, I found this capture card. I could blind 7. Because I've ruined the chance to blind 5 by watching a Proton John Let's Play of it. With Super Genius. I've played a little bit of 6, or I had, and then I played through all of Leon's campaign, parts of Chris, etc. So 6 isn't blind. Although both Resident Evil Revelation games were. But I can't blind 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or Code Veronica, because I've seen them, I've played them, etc. I can't do Survivor for the same reason. And while I haven't finished them, I have played Outbreak 1 and 2. So most of the Resident Evil series I'm familiar with, at least. But 7, I know literally nothing about. I have, since 7 was released, picked up 2 things. 1, it's apparently scary and survival horror-y. Okay, that's cool. 2, apparently Chris is now somewhat involved with Umbrella. And I only know that because of TV tropes talk about Vendetta. So I don't know. But that's a thing that can happen. There's so many possibilities of games that I can play. Like, it could potentially open up my, well, not my, but a playthrough of Star Trek Online, where I could just create a character and run through it, you know, and show you, this is how you do this, you know. But it won't be my premium run because, boy, God, the premium run is one of those reasons I wish I had the Lotto dream come true, where I basically can get access to $1 million, shove that shit in the bank, and live off the interest forever. If that ever happened, there will be so many awesome things happening on my channel. I'll basically disappear for like a year, setting up a shitload of awesome shit. Like, one thing that occurred to me yesterday would be something called the Let's Play giveaway, where I just give away a bunch of the games that I've done Let's Plays of, you know? It's like, you too can play this at home, you know? But if I ever get a better computer, like a full-on desktop that can run Star Trek Online again, and can do it while recording shit, you may see the premium run happen. For at least the Federation and the Klingons. The premium run, by the way, is an idea where I play... I find 2 people. That's important. I find 2 other players. And we play pure premium shit. Like, I'm playing a Federation tactical officer, and as soon as I can, I switch over to the NX class. And then I switch over to the premium Saber class, and the premium Akira class, the premium Defiant class, etc., while they're doing the same for the engineer and the science officer, you know. Or if we're playing Klingons, I'll play all the premium Bird of Preys. Someone else will play the Raptors, someone else will play the battle cruisers, and so on. Yeah, there's potential for shit. I have GameFly, so I have access to a vast library of games. I have PlayStation Plus, so every month I get a couple new free games, some of which may or may not be worth playing. Hell, I might get some of the old shit from the PS3, because apparently those exist, like Shadow of the Colossus exists on PS4. Found that out. It really fucking irks me how much of the PlayStation 4 library is just PS3 games. Not games that are also on the PS3, games that are from the PS3. Hi, we've got The Last of Us, Skyrim, Shadow of the Colossus, Super Motherload. I mean, fuck, why do we even bother having a PS4? You know? So yeah, that's a thing. Also, Friday, I will be seeing Star Wars, finally. I've been wanting to see that for a while. I imagine it'll be sometime before 5, because that's when the cheap tickets happen. But we'll be zooming into Largo to watch in the nice recliner seats. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. Apparently I developed a stuffy nose during this recording, and it's pissing me off. So, happy birthday to me, and Merry Christmas to all my followers who celebrate it. Yay. Oh, oops, sorry, Betsy. Yeah, aside from that, not a whole lot's going on. I don't think we have any more HeroClix this year. I actually will be setting up something fun, or trying to set up something fun, for Pokemon the day after New Year's, because basically, if it's not a holiday, the library's open. And Christmas and New Year's fall on a Monday, which means Tuesday we're good to go. So the day after New Year's, I want to hold a New Year's match, where everyone uses first stage Pokemon that haven't evolved. You know, ones that can, but haven't. You know, like, oh, Charmander and Grubbin and shit like that. And it may happen in February, but I also want to set up an actual tournament with brackets. Like, okay, this week we're fighting these people, next week we're doing this, because we established last time we tried this that it just, you can't have a full-on goddamn tournament in the space we have. You know, not in the 2 hours we have. Because people have connection issues and whatnot, it's a pain in the ass. And this time I want a decisive winner instead of just I tied with another person, you know? So, I've got quite a bit to look forward to. I got my birthday coming up in 2 days, really, because it's Thursday when I'm recording this. So, yeah, got my birthday, gonna go see my mother, hang out with some friends, show off 7 Days to Die because one of my friends has a PS4 and I told him we need to play this together. And the other one of my friends plays Minecraft with me sometimes when I used to bring the PS3 over there, so when he comes over here, once we get a second controller, we will two-player the fuck out of this game, you know? There's all sorts of fun shit that we can do, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, see ya. Bye-bye, everybody.